Okay, everybody, I wanted to make a little video here to show you how to access the lectures for this course. We're not meeting face-to-face, so what I've done is I've created lectures that are all housed in YouTube that go through all of the content. And the design of the lecture is to make it as engaging and interactive as possible with you. Do not sit and just watch and listen. You need to take notes during lecture. Every lecture, there's a PowerPoint. I would encourage you to download it, print it off, and then take notes on it. Or take notes in a notebook. But do not just sit there and watch the lectures. You will reduce your learning capacity or minimize the learning process significantly if you only just watch the lecture. The vast majority of learners are kinesthetic and visual. You learn by seeing it, but then also by doing it. Taking notes is a kinesthetic activity where you're writing out the notes. So be engaged in the lectures, take notes. You wouldn't sit in a I hope you wouldn't sit in a face-to-face class and just watch the instructor lecture and write up on the board and not take any notes. So do the same thing here, but you have to make the modifications because this is an online world for this course. The advantage, you can always pause a lecture, get all your notes written, rewind the lecture. You can access them whenever you need to or whenever you want, whenever you have opportunity. But let me show you how these work so you guys all have the ability to get into the lectures. So go into the course modules, and these are designed the same way for every lecture. So it doesn't matter which module, but I'll show you here in module 1, the chemistry cells module. The little paper clip means it's a PowerPoint or a lecture. So chapter 1, the lecture, chapter 2, chapter 3, and chapter 4. Okay, so you click on that link. Now, the lecture files are fairly large, so it takes a minute to load. Again, if you prefer, download the PowerPoint. So whatever system you're on, it's going to download that file for you. In the lecture, in Canvas, this is what you're going to see. And you're going to see what looks like just a static PowerPoint. The underlined title is a hyperlink. So if you notice a hyperlink out to YouTube, click on that. And I apologize, I can't get rid of commercials. But this hyperlink takes you out to
biology. What we want to do
the lecture.
for the entire course this semester is
Now, this is only going to take 15 minutes for this part. So please don't think, oh, cool, the entire chapter was covered in 15 minutes. Not going to happen. What I do is I narrate through all the different slides that are in that PowerPoint. And if you notice, there's some blanks here. Yeah, I want you to write this information out. I'm going to give it to you. But if you're writing it out as I'm talking about it, you're going to retain this much easier. So one of the key properties of life is that things have the ability to adapt to your environment. Write that down. If you just sit and look at it, you heard it once. But if you write it down, you heard it, you saw it, and you wrote it. 3 exposures to that concept right there. Much more likely to be retained if you take notes. Okay? So each lecture is around 15 minutes. Let me back up. Each part is 15 minutes. I try to compartmentalize them, keep them around 15 minutes so you guys can watch one, take a break, come back, do another, take a break, or you can sit through 2 or 3 in a row, whatever's best for your schedule and your learning process. Now the lecture's over. Okay, that doesn't mean the chapter's done. Back in the chapter, if you were following and you were going through these slide at a time, these are my notes. Apologize. Trying to write with a mouse is not clean and easy, so it looks messy, but I'm trying to convey concepts here. But that lecture ended with this slide. Study of Life 2. Notice it's another hyperlink. Click on it. Excuse me. So this picks up where the first lecture left off. And it's going to start, kind of quick reviews, what we talked about in the first part. But it's going to then move you into the next slide. And it's going to walk through the next 15 minutes of content. So depending upon the chapter, you may have 3 parts, 4 parts, 5 parts. Don't expect a chapter to only be 15 minutes worth of content. There's a lot more information in the chapters. I just try to keep those lectures compartmentalized into 15-minute windows. Okay, so there was part 2. Part 2 starts here, goes through a bunch of slides, different concepts, different information. And now here's part 3. If you downloaded the PowerPoint, you can see all 3 parts in that download. So here's the PowerPoint. You can access them the same way, or you can look and say, okay, there's part 2. Again, this is the PowerPoint. There's part 3. I only see 3 parts. I know at most this chapter is going to take me 45 minutes worth of lecture time to go through it. That way, what I'm trying to do is help you guys manage your time by breaking them up into 15-minute chunks, and you know how many chunks there are per chapter. So please do not just scroll through these slides and go, oh, there's nothing here, this is boring, I don't understand it. Hyperlink out to the YouTube videos. And again, I try to create the same learning environment this way that I do in the classroom. I will provide an outline PowerPoint in the classroom, and then I'll put key concepts on the board, expecting students to write that information down and focus on that information when it comes time for their exams and the quizzes. So when you're taking an exam, I expect the answers to the exams to come from these lectures, the textbook. I do not want exam answers coming from Google. Most of the time they're wrong, and that is cheating. So stay with the lectures. Condense it down. It's a reflection of the content in the textbook. I add new things to try to make it more relevant, but this is the core of the course when it comes to the content, are these different lectures. All right, so hopefully everybody is comfortable with that. And if you have any problems playing them, let me know. As far as I know, there are no broken links. Everything should work. But if you find something that doesn't, please communicate with me as soon as possible so I can rebuild lectures or make sure I get this content out to you guys. All right, thank you very much.